Think back for a second. Have you ever been totally ignored by someone you loved? Maybe you sent this incredibly vulnerable message and they just left it unseen. Or maybe your friend group just stopped inviting you out. Or the person you cared about most, they simply chose someone else. I really want you to remember how that felt. Because suddenly, your chest gets unbelievably heavy. You can't eat, you can't sleep, you just end up replaying the exact same memories over and over, alone in the dark. It feels so incredibly isolating. But what you were experiencing in those sleepless nights, that wasn't just a heavy mood.
It actually comes down to a pretty shocking scientific truth. Rejection isn't just an emotion. Your brain literally treats it like a broken bone. For the longest time, we've carried around this immense shame about feeling devastated over a breakup or being socially excluded, right? We just tell ourselves to get over it. But your brain doesn't see rejection as just some minor emotional inconvenience. It processes it as an actual physical injury. And honestly, once you understand this, that shame of feeling absolutely devastated, it completely vanishes.
Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're unpacking exactly what happens to your brain when you get rejected and why a broken heart hurts just as much as a physical wound. Okay, let's dive into this and uncover the fascinating and honestly deeply validating physiological reality of heartbreak.
Section 1. The evolutionary pathology. So, to understand why a simple, unread message can completely derail your entire day, we really have to look back. Thousands of years ago, our ancestors lived in close-knit tribes, and in that context, ancient rejection, it meant literal life or death. If the tribe threw you out, you lost your food, your protection, your safety. You would literally starve or, be killed by wild animals. Because of that, our brains evolved this powerful, hardwired fear of being cast out just to ensure our survival. Now fast forward to modern rejection. You get a text saying, "Hey, I don't think this is going to work." Now, consciously, you know you're completely safe sitting in your room. But deep down inside that ancient programming, your brain still treats that message as a literal threat to your survival. It's panicking, thinking, "I'm losing my place in the tribe, I'm losing my safety." And that right there is exactly why it feels like your entire world is collapsing.
Let's move to Section 2, the neurological diagnosis, and see how this builds.
So what's actually happening right now inside your head? Well, scientists at the University of Michigan ran this incredible brain scanner study to map this exact pain out. They put people inside scanners and just asked them to remember painful breakups. And what they found shocked everyone. The anterior cingulate cortex and the insula, they completely lit up. Now, these are the exact brain regions that process physical pain, the very same areas that activate when you, say, burn your hand on a hot stove or break a bone. And this brilliantly illustrates why people who are rejected say they feel broken. It's not a metaphor, guys. Neurologically speaking, their physical pain center is fully activated. Your broken heart isn't just in your head. It's a very real, measurable neurological injury.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is what happens with our brain chemistry. When you lose that connection, dopamine drops, and your brain goes into immediate withdrawal. Suddenly, you're checking your phone constantly, scrolling through their old social media posts at 2 a.m., playing detective and replaying old conversations. We have all been there. But understanding this absolutely normalizes that post-breakup obsession. You aren't weak, you are going through a literal chemical withdrawal, and your brain is just desperately trying to get its reward chemical back.
And while that dopamine is dropping, another dangerous chemical is flooding your system: cortisol, the stress hormone. This triggers an absolute physical onslaught. We're talking anxiety, insomnia, a total loss of appetite, panic attacks, headaches, and a severe lack of concentration. Your body literally enters survival mode. This is exactly why people say, "I can't sleep," or "I feel physically sick" after a breakup. Rejection isn't just emotional. It actively forces your entire nervous system to react as if a physical attack just occurred.
Section 3. The complications.
Of course, it doesn't just stop at brain chemicals. Our minds, and especially our modern environments, play a massive role in prolonging all this pain. The first major complication here is a psychological phenomenon called personalization. When someone rejects us, the human brain rarely just hears the word no. Instead, it translates that no into this massive, sweeping global judgment. It tells you, "You are not enough, I'm not attractive enough, I'm never going to be loved." We take one person's decision in one specific moment and we turn it into a final judgment about our entire self-worth. But listen to me, rejection simply means you were a poor fit for that specific person or that specific situation at that specific time. That's it. It is absolutely not a measure of your worth. Detaching your self-esteem from the event itself is an absolutely crucial step to avoid falling into a really dark place.
Have you ever tried to just forget someone only to find yourself thinking about them even more? Well, this brings us to the Zeigarnik effect. The brain absolutely hates unfinished stories. It has this natural built-in tendency to remember and obsess over unfinished experiences way better than completed ones. This is why those memories just keep coming back. Your brain is desperately, exhaustingly searching for answers. It's spinning, asking, what did I do wrong? Could I have changed something? It's searching for a perfect sense of closure that honestly often just doesn't exist.
And these complications, they can escalate so much that they manifest in extreme physical ways. Take broken heart syndrome, for example. This is an actual, documented medical condition where extreme emotional stress temporarily weakens the heart muscles. It mimics a heart attack. People literally arrive at the hospital absolutely convinced they're having a massive heart attack, complete with severe chest pain and shortness of breath. But in reality, their heart is reacting purely to emotional pain. I mean, this firmly anchors the mind-body connection. It proves, beyond a shadow of a doubt, that emotions do not stay in your head. They travel through your entire body.
And, as if biology wasn't hard enough to fight on its own, we've gone and built a modern world that makes healing incredibly difficult. Think about past breakups. People had actual physical space and distance to heal. Once it was over, it was pretty much over. But today, in modern breakups, you open your phone and boom, you have constant, unrelenting exposure to their pictures, their stories, their new friends, their happy moments on social media. Every single image is just another emotional trigger. It feeds the brain constant signals that you've been replaced. And this perfectly validates why psychologists strongly recommend creating digital distance. You aren't weak for muting them or blocking them. Your injured brain literally just needs a safe, trigger-free environment to recover.
Section 4. The prognosis and cure.
We've looked at the intense pathology of a broken heart, but here's the thing. Because of physiological certainty, this pain does end. Here is absolutely the best news you are going to hear today. Your brain can heal. It's a process called neuroplasticity. This is your brain's biological ability to rebuild itself and actually create brand new neural pathways after a loss. So the crucial point here is that every single day you don't text them, every day you focus on yourself, and every new memory you make, you are literally, physically rewiring your brain. You're building new pathways that naturally lessen the pain. Healing isn't just about forgetting, it's about teaching your brain that your life can still be profoundly meaningful after a loss.
So, how do we actively support this rewiring? Well, it basically comes down to 3 concrete steps. First is time. You just have to accept that healing cannot be rushed. A broken neurological bone takes real time to mend. Second is connection. Talk to people who actually care about you. Remember, humans evolved in tribes, and we heal through safe, supportive relationships. And third, meaning. You need to ask yourself, what can I actually learn from this? Who am I now, and what do I really want moving forward? Because pain becomes so much easier to carry when we start using it as fuel to grow stronger, kinder, and way more confident.
At the end of the day, rejection is a temporary event. It is not your identity. The person who rejected you didn't destroy your life. They simply changed its direction. You were incredibly valuable before they ever arrived, and you will still be valuable tomorrow. So, armed with this amazing understanding of your own brain's remarkable ability to rebuild itself, how will you use your next painful ending as the foundation